Alright, so I've still got a bunch of oratory power. One thing I have not looked at for a while are the provincial orders that I've been giving out. Chew-stick Druidic. Chew-stick Celto-Panon. Boyan Swabian. Alright, so you and Carnuccia really need to be doing cultural assimilation. Cotina. Swabian Chew-stick. Swabian Zaloxian. Zaloxian, Swabian. So culturally you're fine. Swabian. Dacian. So you also need to do cultural assimilation. Vistula Inferior has a grand total of 4 population. Most of them are Germanic, so yes, you also need to be cultural. Stone seems to be kind of important for a Dwarven kingdom. Stone does increase your fortification levels, and so long as we have local stone to this, which I know we do, then we get the bonuses. Oh, actually we don't. Well, we can buy it. We don't have stone here either, so it's irrelevant of those two. Just need to make sure that we buy it in. We have another civil war. Good grief. This guy has 30 cohorts. How old are you? 69. Alright, well let's hold a triumph for him then, I guess. Ukamogaroldus, he's level 9 combat. Let's put you there. So who's leading my personal armies at the moment? You are. And you know what? You're a very good commander, so I'm happy with that. 8, 5. Pretty sure I can replace Pannonia's governor with a Chroma. Or Ujic. Except you have the local population growth reduction. You have a research point reduction, which shouldn't matter here. If it was Venadia, then sure. Because Venadia is where my citizens are. Well, some of them. Actually, there's a bunch of them in thinking the Vistula. How was Swabia so stable? I have no idea. Someone needs to go to Emna's channel and ask him if they see him streaming. P-Man, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Did 2 heirs just die of old age? Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure our election system is seniority. Rather than Gavelkind. Ukroma Geroldus, a man of sound reputation, and Hurgric Geroldus, a nobleman of great virtue, have recently started to spar furiously. So Hurgric is the one that we don't want to piss off. Ukroma, sorry man. You're cool and all. But you're no Ukroma. Which is bad, because you are in charge of this. So I think I'm going to... Wait, you're the wrong religion? Wait, you're still super loyal. I did the wrong person, didn't I? You're actually a lot easier to bribe. Are you honest? No. You also have gout, so I can't see you living for very much longer. Oh, another of my civic people died. Idric? Yes, I think Idric's going to be a good choice. Go ahead and do that. The first war host... Oh, that was one of the faction leaders. That's where my money went. I did wonder. Right, well, let's... create a new unit. Because I want to get rid of these. They're useless. Wait, was that the really... No, you have 30,000 men still. Okay. That would also explain where all of my manpower has gone. Again. So I think I'm going to keep the horsemen. Then maybe 4 archers. 10, 12... 17 total. I really want to get some more heavy infantry. You know what, I'm just going to keep the horsemen. Hey Ben. Benji. Alright, that'll do. That'll do. Now we're making money again. Much better. Yeah, we definitely want to get some heavy infantry, I think. Actually, where is going to be the best supply position for you? Is there a supply map mode? Should be. There it is. Oh, my capital actually has a supply of that. Well, capital's always in a wintry area. So Moronis is going to be our, like, rally point. Oh, Cracovia is Krakow. Okay. Where was that? That was... here. Cool. Alright, you have merged together. You are still under the supply for now. Once you've replenished, then that will no longer be the case, and we have quite a lot to replenish, but I'm actually fairly happy with this army. We do definitely need more heavy infantry to kind of hold the center. We'll switch these two around again, but at the moment I'm pretty happy with that. The other thing which I can absolutely do, and I've totally missed, is another sacrifice to keep stability up. Ooh, Macedon's growing. Raising a host, the army of Langobards Eidgid is one of the finest in all of Langobardia. Nonetheless, he has issued a demand for additional soldiers, paid for and equipped from our own coffers. Recent rumours have portrayed Langobards as in less than favourable light, and we should begin to wonder if where his loyalties truly lie. Could he be planning something? Well, considering this is the guy that I keep having to bribe... yeah. I don't deal in demands. Sorry. So you need to be exalted to keep you on side, because this is going to be 31,000 versus like 20,000. Can't assassinate. You can't assassinate clan chiefs. The march of time. Age finds us all in the end. Even the priests and the surgeons shake their heads when confronted with the inevitable decline of the human body. We have gained diphtheria. Minus 2% health. I see health? Yeah, 99%. Still in pretty rude health. So this is the bad guy. No, that's me. I forgot about that. It's actually going to be you plus my standing army versus you. Okay, we do actually outnumber them. Right, where is he? He's down here. Okay, it's not as bad. It's 26. We outnumber them. My fiancée is now watching and is a Lithuanian. She asks if you can play in Lithuania. No, unfortunately. Lithuania is out of range. You can, however, play as the Proto-Estonians. Who are the Proto-Estonians? So the Proto-Estonians are here. And they're kind of interesting because they are the only culture of this culture group. They're completely unique, and they're the only religion of this religion group. So they'd be a challenge. Definitely not something to do on your first playthrough, but you can play as at least one of the Baltics. Just, you're down here. You can't actually get up to Estonia, so you just need to kind of establish Estonian Prussia, basically. I'm sure there'll be a DLC opening that's part of the map. Possibly. I suspect the next opening will be North Africa, though. Adding more down here. Like, I don't really know much about the Baltics or Russia during the classical era. Because I don't think the Romans ever really got up there. Oh, start paying them again. Make sure we do that. Okay, so there are actually some mercenaries not too far away if we needed them. Though I definitely can't afford them as yet. Romans never got that far. Hell, they didn't get to Germania properly, only on the river fringe. Yeah, that was Roman settlements. I'm talking about, like, even Roman trade. Like, I think part of the reason they have Scandinavia is because the Romans did trade with the Scandinavians, even though they never physically got up there as a, like, territory. How much do provinces vary in quality in this game? Like, what makes them good or bad? Yeah, they do. Probably more so than most Paradox games, actually. So the first thing is population. So we can see Imeprator, for example, is my best province because it has a lot of citizens and a lot of slaves. It's like the most modern economy. Most of my provinces are tribesmen. In fact, the vast majority have just tribesmen. The other thing which can determine quality is terrain. So we have like forests, we have plains, we have hills, and then we have farmland, which is the yellow. And the yellow ones are by far the best. You get big bonuses. Then plains, then hills, then forests. Oh, and marsh. Marsh is like the worst. It's horrible. And then finally the trade goods. The trade goods really matter in this game. So the better the goods in your province, like my capital has gold. It's one of very few provinces that produces gold. Also, we have some of the only gem production in Europe. There are a grand total of 3 gem-producing provinces in Europe, and I control 2 of them. So there are quite a few different factors that go into the province quality. And then also the buildings you build, like how much you upgrade them. And who you trade with, and what you trade. Johan, I believe, explained a bit about the maps, the names, etc., how and why they drew the line where they drew it. Basically, no maps or scriptures of the areas in the north, so that basically means that what was not written down will not be in this game as of now. That's what I assumed. Like, the Romans at least had written evidence of having traded with the Scandinavians, but nothing, as far as I'm aware, of being in Russia or the Baltics. Like, also, the Romans never made it to India, and yet India's in the game, and they traded with India, thanks to the Silk Road. And yeah, this game is definitely going to get more religion. More religions. 100%. Like, religion is very, very basic. Very basic. Move to here. Weight of 42. Crikey. Horogric falls ill. Gains an infection. Right, the other thing we should do is switch out your tactics. It's possible they'll take bottleneck, but I don't think they will. Just in case, I will. Get another invention, but no, I don't want inventions. I want more cities! Sure, I'm selling everything I can sell. I think I am. So we're definitely going to be taking some attrition in the run-up to this. And we also need to make sure that you are staying loyal. You are. 71 loyalty is about as good as I can expect. And that centralization continues to change. The more centralization changes, the smaller the clan retinues get, and the more loyal they should be in the long term. I'm still kind of amazed that you've managed to raise 31 cohorts and still pay for them. You're making a small fortune. Where's your income of 1 coming from? Oh, you're the High Priest. That's where your income's coming from. Replace. And we can get an omen. We're about to have a civil war, so I might want to go war chant. Other thing is provincial loyalty is going up everywhere. Except Carnuscia. Wow. Well, Carnuscia is one of the places that's converting. Both of these are. So I think I'm going to continue with Tius. Just keep that population growing. Because we have a very large, very spread out population, so it should be growing relatively fast. What are we up to now? 316. I mean, it's definitely slowed down a little bit just because I'm struggling to keep my stuff on the borders because my civic power production has been so terrible. The bureaucracy of Langobardia, indeed. "44% of the army is commanded by disloyal generals." I mean, No, I'm going to crush this army, then in the future, I think what I might start doing is matching army size with light infantry. Because light infantry are cheap. And they also don't take a lot of attrition. They actually have half attrition weight as opposed to the heavy infantry who have double. Well, 50% more. And they also cost 0.33, so you can effectively get 2 skirmishers for every champion. Where's light cav? 0.48. So light cavalry are only slightly more expensive. You can still almost get 2 light cavalry for 1 champion. Though they don't have the advantage of the stacking. They do, however, have the advantage of just being fast, so you can react to threats more quickly. Of course, you need the manpower to actually build them, but... yeah, 30,000 retinue size is insane. I quite agree with you there. Still 2,000 men down. With a month to go, we're going to move to Membabatum, and then we can hit them from all sides and not cross the river. After some of the seers went through a ritual to speak to the ancestors, our high priest Maloric claims that the ancestors decreed more freedom to the priests. Of course he did. To convince the masses, several of the priests have used some of their own funds to support several large festivals across Langobardia. Following this charade would probably make us more popular amongst the people, though, at the expense of our control of the religious elements. So religious omen power goes up. Tribal chiefs become more... Ligmund becomes more popular. Wait, that's me. Oh, I become more popular. Or we gain religious power. I really don't need religious power. Yeah, let's spend religious power, because there isn't that much to spend it on, especially as I'm at stability 2. Only 1 more tick and it's done. And my finances have been pretty well secured at this point. Oh dear. Alliances, those are a thing I forgot exists, and Varinia is pretty big. You know, I will accept that.
Raiding party!
Oh, whoa! Hello, Shenrir. How are you doing, buddy? And thank you for the raid. Welcome to all of Shenrir's people. One of us. One of us. One of us. Hello, hello, hello. Crikey, this is going to be crazy. You're just in time. There is a grand total of 1 month before a civil war. And it's probably not going to be a very big one. Well, it might be. But most of my provinces are fairly loyal. We do have a 30k stack standing right here, and that's going to be the rebellion stack. It's a huge set of bad guys who are about to rise up. We are surrounding them with the loyalists, or at least who I hope will be the loyalists. But yeah, there it is. And he's immediately attacking us. Okay, so they only took this chunk of land down there. So our main base is quite strong, but this is like the 3rd civil war I've had in a row. It has not been a good time. When do I arrive? 24th of December, 24th of December, 25th of December. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to force march. And we're going to try and get there quick. Unfortunately, this 12k stack doesn't get there until... oh, no, he arrived. We're good, we're good, we're good. Oh, are you kidding me? Because his freaking capital fort is here. So I'm basically attacking you with 16,000 against 30,000, with 12,000 due to arrive at some point. We are force marching. We're going to be moving as quickly as we can. But I'm not convinced. These two, however, are retinue, so they can replenish. This is my own force. So the fact that these guys are arriving last rather than first is kind of a good thing. Thought you said you were doing multiplayer. That was yesterday, Shen. Could I tell you about Langobardia so far? I can. So, we started up here. This big open patch was, in fact, Langobards. The reason we have chosen the Langobards, by the way, is Langobard is Old German for Longbeard. And the Longbeards are a people which live on in mythology today. Like, we may not remember who the Longbeards were, but we certainly know what their mythical modern version, the modern entities of them are. We know them as dwarves, so what we have done is we have led the Langobards out of these horrible, disgusting woodlands of northern Germany. We pushed them east and found eventually the graceful, loving peaks and mountains of the Carpathians. And amongst the Carpathian mountains we found what we now consider to be the homeland in Imperator. Imperator being a mountain pass stronghold which produces gold. So of course it's the dwarven homeland now. We are in one of the only places in Europe that produces gold, as we can see from this. In fact, we are the furthest, almost the furthest north of continental Europe that produces gold. And we're one of the only places, there are 3 provinces in the entirety of Europe that produce gems. We control 2 of them. So yeah, dwarves. So the first thing we did was took over Marponis down here, because Marponis produces iron, which allows us to get heavy infantry. Can I rename the province to Moria? Unfortunately you can't. I really wish you could. Although I'd probably rename it Erebor rather than Moria. Really enjoying the playthrough, saw your videos on it and love the way you explain what you're doing and why I'm doing it. Thank you, I appreciate that. So yeah, Langobard, they are a migratory tribe, so we've had a lot of the migratory mechanics, both migration and now colonization. So with migration, you can literally just up and move. They're kind of similar to the Native Americans in Europa Universalis, but they are still different. So when you migrate, there is a button right here. Need to be Swabian. Let's see if I can actually... No, we can't do it while we're at war. And it will say all of the pops in that province. It will convert them into soldiers. Then you can move those pops in an army and then choose a new place to settle. And then there's a button which appears here. Oh, it's right there, in fact. Which you then press and then you take that province. It's yours. Then if you have at least 10 pops in one province, then you can colonize. Let's see, where do I have 10? I have a couple of like big outposts with 10 pops. You one of them? No. Okay, I don't know where my 10 pops... Oh, there's one. So if we went to Gothinia, for example, you then get the colonize button, and then you can choose which pop from Cognia goes to Gothinia, and you take control of it. Now, the great thing of both colonization and migration is you take all of the pops which are local to that when you move there. So, for example, if we went to Venideva, there's a tribesman here. We would get that tribesman. And some of these provinces can have some pretty big populations, like Olnish has 3 tribesmen, well those would then become our 3 tribesmen. If we go over here, there's probably even bigger populations. Yeah, there we go, 6. A citizen, a freeman, and 4 tribesmen. They'd all be yours. They'd still be of their culture, they'd still be of their religion, so you do need to convert them still. But they become part of Langobardia. So yeah, moving out of our homeland where we were completely surrounded by other barbarians, and it's pretty brutal up there. There's a lot of wars, they fight a ton. And then moving away into this belt of just open territory has just given us a huge ability to spread out and take more land. One of the things which I'm a little bit disappointed by is the other migratory tribes, which is all of these guys. They don't seem to do the same, so the AI doesn't seem to be capable of migration and possibly colonization. They never get the population because they never migrate to colonize, which is a bit disappointing. It does mean that I can basically grow to insane size and just never be confronted by that. But I still really like the migratory gameplay. It's a lot of fun. And you could absolutely take, like, Frisia and move them all the way to Tibet, frankly. I mean, these territories are open over here. And also, when you're in migratory mode, you can just walk straight through people's countries. Military access not required. We also get to play with the tribal clan mechanics, which are these guys. Each tribe will raise their own armies. So part of the reason we have such large armies here, and this 30,000 was one of them, is because they're the clan tribesmen, clan chiefs, and they will raise their own armies. They'll pay for them, they'll support them with manpower, so you don't have to. But if they get uppity and rise up against you, then you got to fight them, which is what's happening right now. Maybe higher